wet. Perfect, it's recording, yay. Okay, so we're gonna wet down the top. If you don't have a spray bottle, you could stick their head in the sink. I also will use just a cup, put some water in a cup and dip my comb in it over and over again as I comb through the hair. So, so just like this, he combs it over to this side. So his part's over here, combs over here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our number 2 guard. Make sure your guard is clipped on really, really well. Hold your clipper well. I always put this little finger on the end of my guard. That will keep it kind of in place. It's not going to pop off that way. So what I do is you can either start on the side or in the back. We're going to start in the back. I'm going to have you tilt your chin down. Can you look all the way down at your toes? There you go. So have them look down, especially on little kids. They've got this little like gap in their neck. Does that tickle? That way it kind of flattens out their neck so you can get into that little gap. So you're going to turn it on. I'm just going to talk for a second, but you're going to put it up. And then as you come, sorry, buddy, you're going to kind of rock it out. So you're going to, don't go up too high, go a little bit higher than where the ear is and just kind of rock it out like this. So a scooping, kind of like you're scooping ice cream. So just put it in. Don't be afraid. Get it right up against the scalp. That's what the guard is for. You're not going to cut it too short. And you're going to want to go in every direction so you get any stragglers, especially if they have weird growth patterns. I'll kind of show you what his look like. Well, I'll just kind of explain. It whirls from each corner into the center. So especially on those corners, go in like really sideways to get them nice and short. Okay, look forward for me. All right, we'll do this side first. So now we're gonna go around the ear. I always start kind of in the front, and same thing, you're gonna do that scooping motion and don't go too high. So forward for me. You're gonna see kind of, see Marissa, you had it way better when you had somebody who could record. Okay, so if you look at the comb, right where the comb leaves the head, that's where it's rounding. So we're not gonna take it any higher than right there. So that way we leave plenty of room to blend. Okay, look forward for me. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, look forward for me. Straight. Okay, so start in the front of that ear and just rock up. I mean, it's way better to stay too low than to go too high. You can always take more off. And then you can move the ear. Ears are flexible for the most part, so move it out of the way and go right behind that ear. And same idea, kind of go in all directions. Gotta hold your head straight so people can see where we're going. Okay. Okay, same thing over on this side. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, let me flip. So you can see just right up about there is kind of what it's going to be looking like. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to move on to the top. This is just some real professional filming. Okay, If the top has dried up at all, I like to just wet it at first just to kind of get it out of my way. You can wait to wet it later, but I'm just going to re-wet it a little bit. You want it pretty wet and you want it consistently wet. Don't have some spots that are dry, some spots that are wet. You want the entire thing to be the same amount of wetness. Okay, look straight forward for me, buddy. Right there. Well, actually, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to start right up in the very front. Always, like I said, just trim. You know, you can, a little bit will get you a long way during this time until you can have a professional cut it, but you're just going to take it, comb it straight up in the front. And keep your fingers completely straight. That's where how much you're going to cut off. So however much you want off. Just rule of thumb, you can see kind of where the hair starts to bend. If you cut below that, the hair is going to stick straight up. If you cut over that, it will still lay over. So since we're doing kind of a comb over style, we're not going to take a ton off. So we're going to do about that much. And just little snips straight across, just like that. And then you're going to take it and just comb back just a little bit so you can see. If you push the hair down, oh, see, Marissa's video is way better because she had someone who could get right up in it. Look for it. Let's see if I can kind of show you. Your hair's too thick, dude. Anyways, you'll be able to kind of see short hairs behind the long hairs. That's your guide. So that's where you cut that first bit. So you want to just follow along and cut that same amount off. If you can't see it, just take smaller sections. And you're just going to go from the front straight all the way back. Don't worry about these sides. Just do the very middle.
Raindrops.
What?
Raindrops.
Raindrops? It's pretty windy out there, huh? Somebody else cut Kaysen's hair last time and I can tell. I do a way better job cutting your hair, huh, bud? Do you like Aunt Haley haircuts the best? Nothing. Okay, so just straight across down the center. And then what you're going to do is just move over to the side. So I just comb the hair over this way, the direction that you want it to be parted. And you're just going to take this from a corner. And you want to imagine the head is kind of rounding. So round with the head, not anything super drastic, but you don't want to take it and do it straight up like this. That's not going to take enough off and it's going to make kind of more of a square shape. So to the side. So you can kind of see just this little round spot right here. We're just going to take that corner off. Here, don't touch it with the cape because then that puts even more hair on your face. There you go. Okay. Get your head straight. And same idea, you're just going to slowly comb back and you're just going to take those little corners off. You can kind of round your fingers a little bit to make that rounded section. Like I said, feel free to jump in if you have any questions at all. I know it's hard for me to think of what you guys really need to hear since it's what I do every day, but just let me know if you have questions. Okay, so we kind of went just straight down right here. So what we're gonna do is come around to the back. So step over to the side, don't stand in the back. You step over here, you'll be able to comb it a little bit better. Straight right there. And then just same idea, you're just gonna take it around the rounded part of the head and take those corners off. If you have cowlicks back here that are going to be crazy, he doesn't. He's got his whirl, but it behaves really well. Keep them, err on keeping them extra long. If keeping them long isn't going to help, cut them nice and short. But I highly suggest just keeping them long. That's going to be easier for you. So if you have to keep it longer, you can kind of comb and do more of that square shape. Pull your fingers more like a square. to the head, and that'll keep it longer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cross-check our section to make sure everything is even. So how you're going to do that, comb everything forward, and then try to look forward, dude. You're just going to comb the sections in the opposite direction. So instead of combing them up this way, you're combing them up this way. You know what? I got so distracted. We did this corner. We haven't done this corner. I'm trying to go as fast as possible because little kids can only sit so long. So what I'm going to show you is, so since this is the side where he combs over, we want to make sure this hair is long enough to still lay down. So whereas this one we kind of rounded, this one I am going to actually take it up to more of a square shape. You can see a little bit, just this little corner right there needs to come off. Come straight back up to the square, that little bit off. Uh-oh. He's awake. He's not supposed to be awake. Okay, let's cross check. So again,
being so loud.
I am being too loud, huh? All right, so comb straight up, and you'll be able to see there's these little hills and valleys. So what I mean is this is short, it comes up a little long, comes back down short. So if you've got any of those, just cut those little hills off. And go all the way across the head. So if you've ever seen, like if your kids have gotten a bad haircut where you can see like steps, like lines in their hair, that's where it's from. If you come and you cross check, you're going to get rid of all of those little tiny lines. Okay. Usually the front is going to be just a little extra long because we combed it straight up. So what I usually do is just comb it straight forward. I'm getting itchy. We're almost done, buddy. Oh, man. Okay, comb it straight down. Like for me. Up, 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 up. There you go. Close your eyes. And you'll see these like longer ones. Just cut those. I mean, just go a nice straight line all the way across. Just a little bit. All right, you can open them, buddy. Okay, so now we've cut the sides, we've cut the top. So what we're gonna do is blend. I'm gonna show you the easy way of blending. It's not gonna look perfect, but it's gonna be good enough. So we used a number 2 on the sides down here, so we're gonna move up to a number 3. So put your number 3 on. The higher the number, the longer the hair will stay. So 2 is gonna cut the hair shorter than a 3 will. So what you're gonna do is right here where you stopped with that 2, you're gonna just barely rock that 3, just right along that line to blend it out. Look for it for me, buddy. So just barely up a little bit, run that number 3 through. And on the other side, I'm going to show you how to actually just completely disconnect that side for the people who like to have super, super short over here with like a parted line. We're going to do the side and then just across the back a bit. Just barely. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to get a number 4. So we did a 2, a 3, and now we're going to move up to a 4 and go up just a little bit higher. Just get those last little long hairs that aren't quite blended. Okay, and like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. but it's gonna blend just enough. It's gonna be way easier for you to do it that way than to come across and try to blend it with scissors, or any other method. So we've blended this side. I know, buddy, you're getting so itchy. So like you can see, it's not perfect. I'm gonna obviously run over it again after this just to fix it up, but it is good enough. So now I wanna show you really quick this disconnected side, and then we'll show you how to clean up around the ears and the neck, and that's it. So, like I said, speed is important with kids. They get restless. So the fastest you can go, the better, but don't stress. You know, because if you stress out, they stress out, and you're already stressed out about trying to cut someone's hair when you don't do it for a living anyways, so. Okay, so get your part exactly where you want it. Oh man, here we go. So there's the part right there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go back to that number 2. So it depends. I'm gonna actually take it to a number 3. So a 2 is what we did down here. We could take a 2 all the way up here if we wanted, but I like to keep a little bit of a difference between down here and up here. So I'm gonna actually use a number 3 and take the 3 all the way up to this line. So what I do is I turn the clipper this way, and I just, this top tooth right here, I'm gonna put up against right where that part line is, and just bring it, drag it straight across. Make sure not to cut any of that long. A tip is you can keep your thumb right here and hold those longer hairs down, so you don't actually, or accidentally cut those. If you don't want to do a disconnected side like this, you're gonna do the exact same thing that you did over here. Just go through one clipper length up at a time and blend it out. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're not gonna worry about putting the part line in. I don't wanna encourage anyone to do anything.
It's dark.
It is dark, huh? I'm gonna close these.
Yeah, open. Dark. Open.
Okay, so we're not gonna worry about putting that part line in. I just don't really want you guys to do anything more than you have to. This is just survival mode right now. So what we're gonna do is I'll show you how to go around the ears and the neck. Okay, up and forward. Don't look at the camera. Right there, thank you. Okay, so you're gonna get your trimmer and you're gonna use just this end to kind of just carve around the ear. Go slow, don't stress. Comb the hair straight down so you can see what hairs you need to get. Little kids don't really have much of any sideburn, but go ahead and just take that straight across and down, and that'll kind of square off the sideburn. And then you're just gonna take it and go in front of the ear, just get that little bit there. And then you can bend the ear down. Keep looking forward for me, bud. Bend the ear down and just barely get those other hairs off. Don't go too high, or you'll get white walls. And then, right here. We will do the back. Okay, look down again for me, buddy. Thank you. So again, comb those hairs down straight, and you're going to start in the center, put a straight line, drag it down, and go across to each side. You don't need to push hard at all. The harder you push, the more likely you are to scratch them. So don't worry, just relax. It's a thick one. It's not doing anything. We've done this a million times. And then you just go straight line from the bottom corner here up to the ear. This is gonna be the hardest part because these little stinker kids don't hold still. Crazy pants. Okay, and then you're just gonna do the same thing around this ear. So straight down the sideburn. in front of the ear there a little. Hold the ear. Well, you gotta hold still or we're gonna ruin it. Thank you. Just like that. Okay, you guys, that is basically it. I'm sorry it did not go as well as I would have hoped. I should have had Darren come down and help me film it, but I hope it was helpful. Stay right there. I'm gonna fix this haircut up a little bit, but just do your best. Questions. Okay, Annie, how do you know how far up the neck to go in the back? Okay. Let me show you. I'm gonna pop this off so I can actually. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Kind of look down a little bit for me. So you don't need, you're going to go lower than you think you will. It's just barely. So it kind of depends on the hairline. So there was really only a little bit of scruff down here. So all you've really got to do is take whatever like stragglers that are left too long, just barely trim them up. I wish I had a better example to show you. I should have shown you before I actually started cutting. But err on the side of keeping the neckline lower, because you can always take it up and you just don't want it to look weird. So in reality, like I barely went along right there. So I hope that answered that. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I hope that helped. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I can't remember, but anyways, thanks for joining, you guys. Feel free to message me if you have any questions. I can kind of go through and answer any specific ones for you. Just do your best and then you can get it fixed once all this craziness is over. So yeah, thanks guys.